Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview February 19th on a Thursday 2015. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Remember, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Alright traders, what a nasty last 24 hours we've had here in Thailand. Rain, clouds, and more rain. Kept me up all night. Horrible. Anyhow, let's get on. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, we got work to do. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, 2008. I retired from a wonderful 27-year career in the fire rescue department out of the great state of Florida. Traders, I came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday and trade as well. It's 2015 and I am still in Thailand. Traders, having a great time, enjoying it. It's a great time zone to trade the Forex markets because I can get all three sessions in one day, even though the New York is cut very short. I'm usually only in 2.5 hours, and it's coming close to 11 o'clock by that time, p.m., and that's the end of my day. So I do trade every single day. I don't necessarily take a live trade every day, but I do trade every day. I'm listening to fundamentals. I'm listening to what's going on. I do a lot of reading and educating myself constantly, always constantly. More education, the better. All right, let's get the legal stuff out of the way. This is a risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential of rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most of all, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. And traders, also remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. That is the legal stuff. All right, let's head over to news. Let's see what's going on in the markets. How did the markets close yesterday? All right, the Dow 30 closed negative, just barely closed negative in the red at 0.10. The S&P 500 closed in really barely in the red, 0.03. The NASDAQ was in the green barely at 0.14, and the Russell 200 was in the green at positive 0.24. Let's head over to the Eurozone, where the DAX closed in the green at 0.60%. The FTSE 100 closed flat, 0.000, and they're classifying that as being in the red. And the CAC 40 closed in the green at 0.95%, with the Euro stocks closing positive at 0.80%. Traders, let's come on over to my side of the world. These countries are currently trading. The Nikkei 225 is up 0.49%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Sydney is down negative 0.20%. The Shanghai and the Hang Seng are on holiday today. So the Shanghai closed flat yesterday, zeros across the board, and the Hang Seng closed positive at 0.19%. The Kospi is also closed today, and that closed at 0.16%. All right, so that's what's going on with that. What do we got news-wise? News-wise, we don't have a lot going on until we get to about London lunch. We've got some news coming out of the Great British Pound. We've got CBI Industrial Orders Expectation, high impact. Then 1 hour before the U.S. stock market opens, we've got ECB monetary policy meeting accounts out of the euro. And in the U.S. session, we have unemployment claims. And also we have, finally, they made this a high impact news event, and that is the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. And yes, that is a high impact event, finally. The other one I want them to make high is the German IFO. I'd like to see them change that from medium to high impact. Those do move the markets. Commentary today is I apologize for yesterday's uploading of videos and newsletters getting sent out. I had no internet, my friends, and it was very frustrating because they told me to sit and wait for the technician. Well, guess what? The technician never showed up. I woke up this morning and everything was working. So I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to Thailand. You just have to be patient. Just trying to stay calm, cool, and collective, and all that good stuff that we're taught, right? Especially in this business. Okay, we're going to take a look at some 60-minute Forex charts to review. And some of these have some data spikes and stuff. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's take a look. Starting off with the euro dollar. All right, so this was FOMC meeting minutes that was released at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was 2 a.m. for me. And yes, I was sleeping. And that is what those two big blue things are. And then, of course, it's sideways because Asia is only half open today. And I think that's due to the Chinese holiday. I think it's their New Year. So we're sideways, right? So I am still bearish in the euro, folks. This is not a change of trend. This is not a change of direction. This is a data spike. I expect this to come back down. I've given you two entries. One now, you get a bearish engulfing, a nice red candle. The next candle's red, go in, get in it. Take it to the 200, grab your 15, 20 pips and get out. The other one, if you're conservative, you wait for it to close below the 200 exponential moving average and get into it and take it down to previous support, which looks like it's at 1345. Is that correct? I'm sorry, 1334. 1334. So, yeah, there's plenty of room on both directions, whatever trade you wish to take. But I am not bullish on this, I will tell you that. And really, do you want to trade this to the upside? You're trading right into resistance, right? So we don't even want to trade this to the upside unless this takes out that high. If you look lower left of the chart, that spike, that would have to take that out. Well, then you just might as well be in a buy trade because you're 80 pips away. Okay. All right, let's head over to the pound. Pound hasn't done much in the last 24 hours. That spike that you see was data that came out yesterday from the Great British Pound. So, yeah, you're saying, wow, that looks like yesterday's slide. Pretty much it is. The fib is the same. I changed the numbers around a little bit. But we're basically in the same trade, that we wanted. I mean, yesterday's trade worked, right? It was news that worked it, but it worked, right? See the red doji candle? What was the next candle? A higher low, boom, take it to the upside. And you hit your resistance area, you would have been taken out. Hopefully you had an order in to get your profits, and you would have been taken out and you would have done fine. And that's it. I mean, that was really pretty simple if you were up at that hour. But if you had pending orders in, that trade would have worked out just fine. All right, here's the Aussie. The Aussie, yeah, you're probably saying, Bill, these looks like the same charts as yesterday. Well, they are. This is the same chart as yesterday. And the reason I left the same chart is because there's nothing different. This has spiked that resistance area. Look at what happened. It is now rejecting it. So now we're back to the same place we are before. We want to sell the Aussie dollar. I do not want to buy the Aussie dollar. I wish I was up at 2 in the morning and was able to take advantage of this sell of that second blue candle after the spike and take that down. Could have did a turtle trade. We'll talk about that someday, what a turtle trade is. But we could have taken this. We could have taken this down and could have made you 30 pips or whatever, and probably did all right. I'm curious to see what happens because now we're like sort of in the middle now between the 200 and where price action is. So kind of curious to see what happens. Like 6 hours from now before the London Open, and we'll see what happens and we'll take it from there. Let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. The Euro Aussie's done nothing. It is basically, you can count 24 candles there. You can see we're basically in this range. We do want to just have this, break this, give us confirmation. Let's take this down to 1.4472. The stop is just above the 200 exponential moving average at 1.4626. No, I do not want to buy this. I would not buy this. I mean, they'd really have to show me something special for me to buy this. I like this trade because it's so many hours before the London Open, and the Bollinger Bands are open. That is pretty impressive in a Asia session that has half of the Asian markets closed today. The Bollinger Bands are open. So sort of liking this. I'm hoping this works out and this breaks that trend line. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Yen. Euro Yen's all over the place. Um, I, you know, it was like, how am I going to put up a trade plan for this? Like, what is the trade plan? The trade plan is a 200 exponential moving average. I put a note on the chart, look at the 200 exponential moving average left of the chart because it's always reacted to it. Well, now it's gone sideways for the last 10 hours. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours. And it's sideways, it hasn't done anything. So what are you going to do with this euro yen? I was talking the other day that maybe we're going to change the trend and this is going down to the upside and we're back to the up move. So, now, we just look at what's in front of us and it comes back to we're just going to trade what's in front of us. And when I wouldn't touch this till London Open. Let's make that clear. We will not touch this trade until London Open and see what happens. If this continues upwards, decides to continue down. If it decides to give you a red candle at London Open on that first hour, and you would not trade it, right? You would wait for a close of a candle below the 200 exponential moving average and then take your trade to the downside. And you have plenty of wide open space to take this down and get into profit and have a nice trade. So this is like a 50-50 trade here, and there's really nothing else you can do. There's no solid trade here. We just have to see what price action gives us at this point. All right, let's take a look at our New Zealand dollar. Gold New Zealand. Again, another pair that we think might be changing into change a trend to the upside. And I know I put the entry pretty far away. I don't think you have to. I think if you get to this, 618, I think you'd be fine. I don't know if it's going to happen though. I think it's going to break this resistance, to be honest with you. This just seems to be on the run to the upside. So we'll see what happens here. The stop is a 200 exponential moving average. Now, traders, remember you're gonna alter your stop because I don't know how many pips your stop is. So I only trade 1% of my account. And of course, that can't be figured out until I know how many pips I'm putting down on the table for a drawdown, right? So that's where I would put my stop if I was just trading blindly, is at the 200, of course. I don't think this is going to pull all the way back. You don't have to wait for it to pull back. As long as you get some sort of a pullback, it's got to get as close as we can get to that 61.8, and we can take this back up to resistance, where it's hit several times and cannot break through. And that ends our 6 currency pair review. And traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me on this Thursday. Again, my apologies for the late uploads of yesterday, and that was due to internet issues. Traders, have a great trading day. Come to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Till tomorrow, before the London Open. We'll see you later. Take care, traders. Bye-bye.